Hello everyone and welcome to some more F1 My Team career mode here today. This is round number 12 for the US Grand Prix at Miami, and this is part 1 of 2 as we have COTA next up in the next episode as we take over the US in the stateside part of the calendar. Now, first of all, the last episode, Canada, go check it out, link in the top right. There are spoilers ahead, so if you haven't seen it, go watch it. But yeah, after this we have COTA. And you can see we've had a double failed upgrade, which hopefully both of those will be on the car for that race in Austin, Texas. So yeah, for now, this event, we're going to have a chassis upgrade on the car. That's going to be it for us. And hopefully that gives us enough performance to notice an improved package this weekend. Now, as you can see, this is currently how the upgrade situation is looking. So we have 2 minor aero, 1 major on the engine, along with, of course, the major chassis one, which went onto the car this race. So we should have a pretty strong package for the next one in Texas. However, quickly, I just want to make a little point here. You guys have said I should buy some facility upgrades. So let me know, looking at the screenshot right now, where you want me to invest some money and where you want me to improve. And yeah, I'll look at the comments and see what you guys have to say. So with that said, here we are, weather forecast at Miami. We have rain possibly at the very end of the race. Also, I'm going to take a risk and try to squeeze one more race out of this MGUH. Of course, we lost the first one, early on in Portimao in round 2. So we're going to try and squeeze one more race out of it. And I think if we get this race out of the MGUH, we might just be able to make it to the end of the season without taking a penalty, unless we have a further failure. So yeah, also assuming that risk at the same time. The last race was really good for us, for the championship, for both championships, should I say. So essentially, we're neck and neck at the championship right now. We're leading the constructors by about 30 points. So the way I see it, we could afford to potentially have an MGUH failure and run this one into the ground, and it won't hurt us too bad. So yeah, I want to try and avoid taking a penalty at all costs if possible. So here we are in qualifying in Q1, and medium tyres are on the agenda in this session yet again. We've got an invalidation there, which you can see my face. I was really confused as to how that happened, and I went into the replay. To me, this looks okay. I don't really see where we've done something wrong. So yeah, that aside, we pushed on and went for a second consecutive lap, as I had fuel for 2 laps. That was my intention. And yeah, we're going to see now what this first proper lap is going to be on the mediums. Pace looking okay, to be fair, this weekend in practice as well. Making our way out the final corner now, up to the line at DRS open, and it's a 27.6 as we go P7 at the time, which wasn't too bad, to be fair. I was quite happy with. Eventually though, we got pushed down to P12, and that's still okay. However, the gaps are actually a lot closer, and the pace is actually really competitive. So we're only safe by a 10th. Perez is in the dropout zone, so we're going to have to go back out because, yeah, we're going to get knocked out if we don't improve. So I went on and put a soft tyre on the car. I went for a pretty safe lap. I wasn't really overdriving. I was taking it pretty calm. I knew I just found a few tenths that would probably get the job done, realistically. And yeah, you can see we're purple in sector 2. I was super strong through there. My weak sector is sector 3. I'm about a second quicker than AI in sector 2, but then I lose about 8 tenths in the final sector, and then I lose about another 2-3 tenths in sector 1. So yeah, very kind of unbalanced performance around here compared to the AI. But we go P10, improve to a 27.1, and I thought, you know what, that is perfect. However, we only just made it through by half a tenth, as everybody surprisingly improved more than I thought. And everybody found a lot of pace. The track must have really ramped up in those final few minutes, because I went out a little bit early as well. And so I really didn't think I was under any pressure. So I was a bit surprised. Nonetheless, into Q2 now, and we went straight back out on the exact same tyres that we just used to get through into this session. And you can see the tyre wear in the bottom right as we run up to the line. We set a 27.1, so we actually go a bit quicker than what we've done in Q1 with a used and slightly more worn out set of tyres. So yeah, that was a good banker lap, to be fair, and that gives us a good reference to aim for. Now then, we're getting ready for our final attempt, and we're going to send it for a full lap at Miami. So over to the left, brake at the curb, try to pick up the apex and be patient on the throttle through 2 and 3. Very easy to lose the rear, so try to be smooth with the throttle and your steering input. Nice and tight to the wall here to minimise distance as we now head into the chicane. Left, right, and then a left again, using the curbs to rotate the car beautifully. On the brakes, open up this left-hander, and then I'm running a really high ride height so I can drive over this curb. and we're 3.5 tenths up in the first sector. My best first sector by a mile this weekend. I never actually got under a 30-second sector, and that was a 29.7, so that was really strong. As we now head down the back straight, brake at the shadow, just before, in my case, 4th gear, clipping the apex. Easy to not overdrive and not run too wide. Short shift to 5th to clean up the traction through here, and now lots of inside curb through both of these to really cut across the track. And we go a little bit too early through that final apex, but still half a second up, and we're purple in sector 2. And this is looking like a 26.6 right now, depending on what we do in the last sector. Now, heading down to the hairpin, spot the 100-meter board, and as you'll see here, I just get my braking wrong. I don't know what happened. I just had a moment where I think I looked at the mini-map, or I looked somewhere else just to check everything was okay. And when I looked back up, genuinely, I don't know if I need glasses or something, but I thought I saw the 100, but it turns out it was the 50. And I realized I'd outbroken myself, and I basically threw the entire lap away. So that was really frustrating, especially looking at the pace. Nobody really improved on their second runs. So that was surprising. We would have set a 26.6, let's say. It was, easy half a second improvement. That would have given us P8 comfortably, and we easily had Q3 pace. However, we fumbled the bag, and we're out in Q2, so we have work to do in the race from P12. So let's see what happens. I'm looking forward to the Miami. It's a great track. I should quite enjoy it, and I think the pace is strong. So let's get into it, and let's see if we can try and fight back for a podium.
We are here in the coastal shores of Florida for the Miami Grand Prix, which has become the 11th Formula One track held in the United States. The grandstands are packed for what we hope is going to be another fantastic race. Sitting at the southeastern coast of Florida, the Miami International Autodrome has 19 corners and 3.36 miles of racing. It's a circuit designed to encourage close racing while meeting the highest safety standards. Either way, I am sure it's one which will please the fans. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. It's Sergio Perez on pole today, edging out Max Verstappen, who will start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Leclerc, Lando Norris and Hamilton, Russell, Hülkenberg, Ricciardo and Mick Schumacher, Martinez, Ocon, Yuki Tsunoda and Gasly, Magnussen, Zhou, Valtteri Bottas and Sebastian Vettel, Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Albon and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
So time for the main event as we get ready for the race. Starting from P11, we're going to get straight down to business. So strategy is going to be a medium to hard tyre strategy. We have, of course, that rain possibly arriving at the end, but I'm going to treat this as a dry race all the way through. Fuel-wise, I'm going for a lap extra. Shouldn't be much of an issue or a concern. Again, if that rain does arrive, it's going to help us save a little bit anyway. So the key thing here is to have a very strong first stint and use the medium tyre to try and fight forward and gain places. So let's get into it. Let's see what happens. Leave a prediction down below, leave a like, and let's get recovering places. So trying to get a last bit of tyre temp before we get underway. Race start is going to be very key. Choosing the right line, hopefully making a couple of moves, that would be nice. Hülkenberg is only P8, I believe, so he hasn't had the best qualifying, so we're both, recovering places for this race start, so we'll see how that goes. We're just trying to get a last bit of a time warm up on the go there as we get ready. Line up aggressive as well, if possible, just to point to the inside. And there we go. We'll take that. Lovely. Hopefully, this race goes well. We can make it 2 podiums in a row, possibly. Let's see. Long 5 lights, but we're underway. It's not the best start.
Okay, we're hitting the rated limits on the MGU-H. The power unit is going to be more prone to overheating.
And play off up ahead. Someone's lost a bit of front wing as we pull off a really good move around the outside of turn 1 on Schumacher. We're now going to get into a drag race as Ricciardo gets the jump on Hülkenberg. 3 wide. Got to be careful here as we head into the S's. We're going to try and go around the outside of Mick, and I think Leclerc is the one with damage, as I have to take evasive action as I almost run to the back of Hulkenberg. I think I saw a front wing end plate off at turn 1. No idea whose it was, but it seems to be Leclerc's. Meanwhile, Ocon and Schumacher behind, looking for a move. Seems we're all pretty even in terms of straight line speed at the moment. As we head into the brake zone, Schumacher commits. We're going to go very, very deep into the corner and successfully pull off a overtake on our teammate. So that worked out beautifully in that racing sequence. Now into this Mickey Mouse section as Leclerc, the championship leader, has damage. Yellow flag. I'm not sure if someone's retired, maybe just everyone's going so slow. But here comes Nico Hulkenberg. Do I defend? I'll let him have a look. We're going to have to brake a bit earlier. Into the hairpin. Going to take a wide line here as Hulkenberg actually dives well up the inside of Ricciardo. Leclerc into the pit lane now as we head onto the pit straight. So P9 for us, end of lap 1. Up the inside, I was kind of defending from Schumacher, but I accidentally turned defense into offense as we get Hulkenberg back yet again. So P8, Hulkenberg, P9. Let's try and get Ricciardo and break into the top 7. But this is a good start, especially now that Leclerc's out of the picture. That is huge for the championship. A couple of Red Bulls out front, so now that's our target, to try and see if we can race the Red Bulls here today.
DRS is being enabled this lap. You can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Surprisingly, Daniel Ricciardo, the fastest man on that last lap, into the 129s. We're matching the leaders in the low 30s. Hulkenberg has strong pace by the looks of it. We're very, very weak in sectors 1 and 3, but we're so strong in sector 2. It's just awfully unbalanced. And we're not going to have DRS on Ricciardo here, so I may just let Hulkenberg go. I have to work as a team here. Although the strongest part of the lap is now coming up for me, but let's see. We'll let Hulkenberg go by and waste no time. Hopefully it works out. Pace just isn't there right now. Luckily, up ahead everyone's starting to bunch up a little bit and the train's going to reform. I think someone's had an issue, or maybe someone's got a slight bit of damage because they're starting to go pretty slow up front. So we're going to form back up into a train now, as you can see. Literally it's happening before our very eyes. But this is the leading group, by the way. All in just one big train, so strategy is going to be key. Timing of pit stops is going to be key. I wonder if Carlos Sainz has an issue. I think Norris has broken away. Yeah, Sainz is dropping back. I wonder if Carlos has an issue as well. But maybe he's not pitting, he's staying out because he's dropping back. Lando's been able to pull away into P3 by himself, which is a pretty ominous sign. Although I will say McLaren lately have turned the corner. They seem to have improved their pace a bit, and they're kind of joining this 4-car fight for the championship. But look at this battle now, it's kicking off. I think Russell has got ahead of Sainz. I feel like there could be opportunities to get by here. I'm not super quick, but there could be chances to get by if the AI allow it. So let's see. We know Sainz is very fast on the straight. We saw that in Canada, so that's part of the reason why these guys aren't getting past. Ricciardo looking for the move there on Hamilton. Hulkenberg looking to get involved as well. Let's stay on board here because there could be something in it for us. Heading into this section now, let's see if we can find something. Sainz is a bit wide. We're going to take the invitation and go up the inside of Hulkenberg. I feel like we need to make a move now. We're starting to lose valuable time, especially to Verstappen out front. This is not what we want. So we're going to try and make some overtakes if we can. But Sainz is definitely nursing an issue because Russell is starting to drive away now. You can see the Mercedes in the minimap is opening a gap. I've got a bit of battery save, so may as well try use it as Hamilton now goes for the move on Sainz. This could present the opportunity. Meanwhile, Hulkenberg up the inside, fighting back. We're going to get into a traction battle and we lose out. This is not good. This is not good now. Gasly has joined the party. The Sainz has an issue. I think it might be engine related. Ocon out the race. That could be interesting. Sainz getting back ahead of Hamilton. I just don't have the pace to really stay in front of a car. Battery recharge is harder than I thought. It's not that easy. Let's see then. There could be some action here, so we're going to try and use a bit of battery to close in. Ricciardo's going to go for a move on Hamilton yet again. Hulkenberg also closing up. They both go side by side. Hulkenberg a bit slow. I've tried to go around the outside there, but didn't quite work. Just losing so much time now. Trying to find a place to pass. Here comes Gasly. This wasn't in the plan. Contact up ahead. Ricciardo, Hamilton. And Ricciardo pits, so does Hulkenberg. Alright, this could release us now.
Nico's coming in for his stop now.
Important phase of the race here. Let's try and use the battery and try and push on.
We're approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hard next time.
I wasn't only stop for Hulkenberg. I wonder if he got damage. Either way, I feel like I've got decent tyres left. So I want to try and use them if I can. Try to stay within Hamilton's DRS if possible. That would be ideal. Although I think I've just dropped out. Yep, don't think I've got it. Okay, no, I think I might actually, yeah, just hold on.
Okay, Nico's into the pits. Nico in the pits.
We'll try and get Hamilton on the back straight. Sainz is on the hard tyre. That might explain his struggles. Not actually damage, just starting on the hard tyre, which, you know, didn't work before. I think Ferrari done, you know, I think it was in Canada the last race, I think, if I'm not mistaken, where they tried both cars starting on the hard tyre and it completely backfired on them. So they're trying again, and it's not really working any better this race. Here we go then, good exit as we look to get past Lewis Hamilton here. Definitely got some decent straight line speed here as we pull ahead into the brake zone and hold on to the racing line. Right, let's get off the signs. Track limit warning. That was pretty marginal. I'm not sure if that was fully fair, but anyway, we'll keep pushing as we're closing in on Carlos here. Ooh.
Right, drop your speed. Our delta's too low, and we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
No retirement, as far as I know. Not sure why that has been called, but we have a safety car, and this is the lap I was meant to pit. I wonder if Carlos will pit. That's my big question, and he does. Try and respect the delta here. Excellent pit entry. Right, onto the hard compound tyre then. Russell's going to get held badly. Hamilton's going to have to stack, so this is great news for us. Now would be a good time for a stop. 2.3. We get held slightly. Sainz gets back ahead of us, so we don't quite jump him.
Last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
So Sainz on medium. He's going to be quick, but might struggle to make that tyre last at the end. Ricciardo stays out. Hulkenberg also stays out further back. So we're net P6 right now. Let's get back to it then. So we have excellent tyre temp. Then warming up the tyres quite aggressively. Rears especially are looking on point. Verstappen will lead away. Norris second. Perez third. Let's see how the restart goes. Getting the power down gently out of there. Ricciardo you want to watch out for. The Sainz on that soft tyre. It's going to be rapid as we almost run into the back of him down the braking. Russell and Norris still going at it. I'm waiting to see if Sainz can, you know, make things happen on that medium tyre, to be honest. Ricciardo has got decent pace, to be fair. And this is it.
DRS has been enabled. DRS is now enabled.
3 wide briefly as Sainz now goes for the move. Norris down to P5. Ideally, I want to try and see if I can lash myself onto Carlos Sainz. Yellow flag as we're in a McLaren sandwich here. Not sure who's had an issue. It's further back though. But let's see how this is going to go. DRS now on the back straight, I think. This could get spicy. No retirement, just someone lost the back end. I think it's Hulkenberg actually. I think he is out. He is. Hulkenberg out of the race. That's big for the championship. Here we go, getting the run on Lando Norris. Oh, we run in very deep on the brakes, trying to go on the outside. We get crossed up, doesn't really work out. Got braking point all messed up. Sainz and Russell side by side into the chicane, and we are crawling through here as we try to find a way through this traffic. Look at the trainer cars behind. AI are insane at getting the traction down out of there. We're going to have to defend here versus Daniel and use the battery. Down to the hairpin we go. Don't have to be brave on the brakes. We're not too brave, otherwise we'll collect Lando. There we go. We'll keep Ricardo at bay. Not over yet though. Ricardo's going to come back for more. But there we go. Now we're ahead. My God, what a race. So intense. Battles everywhere. Lando had a bit of a moment there. Out of the hairpin. I don't really have a lot of battery, but I might try and see if I can lunge him. We force him onto the defensive line.
There's a new strategy available on the MFD.
I give up. I really do. Really say that sometimes.
Okay, copy that.
Hopefully the team changes my wing. I really hope they change my wing. I didn't get enough time to put yes. I thought I had a fresh medium, but I don't have a fresh hard, so we'll go for that instead. And we are getting a wing change, thank God. But this is big now. This is a big, big moment. Unless we get a safety car, it's going to be race over for us. Damn it. If there isn't a safety car, then I might just retire early to be fair and save the engine. Lewis Hamilton in the pit lanes, looking like damage for him, although he goes onto a set of mediums, so he'll be quick in this final part of the race. It's going to be close actually between me and him on track, but I think we have the edge on those mediums. Let's see, warm hard tyres versus cold mediums, but Lewis does just get out ahead, so I don't think we're going to catch him up. A bit too much of a gap there. More cars in the pit lane, Valtteri Bottas in there. Also, I think Ricardo just done his stop as he's further up the road. Onto a hard tyre, which is interesting. We're going to be just ahead of Valtteri, but he's on medium, so he'll probably be quicker than us once they're up to temperature. Zhou Guanyu now in the pit lane, so we'll gain another place. As we set a personal best, 28 and 9. I was using all of our battery and just having a bit of fun, just seeing what the pace is. And we have a yellow.
Okay, I've got information on Zhou for you. Right, they've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring. Right, drop your speed. Our delta's too low and we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
Well, this race isn't over. Safety car again. So let's get the soft tyres ready. Well, we'll start one more lap, as the safety car won't be in at the end of this lap, so we can afford to do one more. And we'll put the soft tyres on at the end of this lap, as we still have to catch up to the safety car train. Got a front wing change selected if it were to be necessary. I was tempted to go hard on the front wing, but I'm going to keep it the same. I think the grip I'll get from the soft tyre should do the job. We shouldn't have any overheating issues. That's not been an issue all weekend. Lovely. Right, let's catch back up to the train. Let's get this race straight back underway. So with the 82% NGOH, we're going to hope it holds on for 5 more laps, as we are going to get the old elbows out and see what we can do. We'll get a lot more opportunities after 2 laps once the AI turn their engines down. It's going to be harder in this initial first 2 laps.
5 laps of fuel remaining. 5 laps of fuel left.
I feel like I want to try and save my battery for the last few laps as well, because the AI are going to use all of theirs now. So I'm going to try and use tyre grip to try and make things happen. Bottas, Hamilton, all these guys are on fresher tyres. It's going to be the cars ahead that are struggling, so I'm not expecting these guys to be particularly slow. Up the inside of Valtteri though. Too much grip difference as we breeze past. Now we're going to have to use battery to try and stay ahead of the Alfa Romeo. Might get an opportunity into the hairpin. I can see on the minimap there's already a break in the train, thanks to the Williams boys up ahead. Let's see if we can use it as a chance. So have a look at Ricciardo. Nope. Fresh out of tire for Ricciardo, working well so far. And Albon in the pit lane. That's P17. Let's go for it. Get past Ricciardo. Now he's going to fight back. He's probably going to go for the dive bomb. That's how the AI work. So we're going to send down Hamilton instead. And this rod damage. I just cannot race these guys at all. 3 wide. And we're going to get Hamilton and Vettel, but you just can't race them at all. It's literally impossible. Like, I knew what Ricciardo was going to do. He done it. And then I just had a feeling Hamilton was going to close the door on me. That's why I've not been going for any moves. I'm just too shy.
The underbody's incurred some slight damage, but nothing too serious at the moment. Just be careful.
I'm going to try and get Ricciardo here. And then we'll get the first crack at Latifi. Whoa, that's a bit wide.
Right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more laps.
I'm driving horribly, I'm not going to lie. I'm not happy with how I'm driving.
Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
Even still, feels like the AI just not making this fun to drive at the moment. With their horrible wheel-to-wheel behaviour. As Ricciardo and Latifi both have moments. I'm going to see if I can try and squeeze through here on Ricciardo. Outside line. It's all a bit tight, but we do go past. That way we get first crack at Latifi. And then we can race on to Stroll. Right, let's go for this. DRS. Latifi goes defensive. Please don't lock up. Running it out as wide as I can run it. Now we can get onto Stroll straight away and waste no time. Might be able to get him into the hairpin here, possibly. Going to take a bit of a lunge and some decent straight line speed, but we've definitely got a chance here. Come on. Well, that was slam dunk contact. Bit of a dive bomb, bit reckless from me, but we're through and no further damage.
The underbody's taken a little damage, just watch out for it.
Let's push on Alonso as a 5-second time penalty, so get Schumacher and we're in the points. Last lap of the race. Last chance saloon out. Trying to see if I can get anything out of this. Pushing, but I don't think I've got enough pace. I think we're just going to miss out on the points, unfortunately. Not really going to get much done here with the straight line speed unless it's like a 3 wide into the final corner. We might have a chance, but I don't think we're going to get what we want. Verstappen's going to win. No, Perez wins. What happened to Max? Max finishes P3. Wow. We're not going to score points, which is a shame, but it is what it is.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
They've done it then, a truly magnificent win here at the Miami International Autodrome. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be proud of the victory they've secured here.
So there we go, Miami in the books. I love the circuit, but the racing seems to be poor. I've had some really rough races here in career mode so far. Perez though picks up the W, and that's a big surprise. Sainz in second, that's going to help them massively in the championship fight. Verstappen as well, third place, big result with a fast lap, but Max should have won. I don't know what happened to him. Maybe Perez had better tyres and the safety car messed him up, I'm not sure. Russell P4, Lando P5, Leclerc recovers the P6 in the end after having, of course, that wing damage early on. So Leclerc does score some big points. Magnussen, Gasly, Tsunoda and Schumacher round out the top 10. We finish in P11, just missing out on the points. And further down we have Hamilton in P15. Further down than that we have Hulkenberg P21. So a bad day in the office for us. In the standings, we're still third, only 10 points off the top. Verstappen though back up into second. Perez with that win gets himself right in the mix, and Sainz as well with that podium in the mix. And right now, that top 7, it's all to play for, man. It's right there, and McLaren are on the up. You know, Norris and Ricciardo looking stronger and stronger. In the constructors, we're still P1, but the gap has been cut to 7 and 8 points respectively. Mercedes now starting to drop back a little bit and not quite able to keep up. I think McLaren at this rate could finish 5th. But yeah, a 3-way fight in the constructors and a 7-way fight in the drivers. But guys, that is it for today's episode. Leave a like and subscribe for more. As always, a massive shout out to everyone supporting the channel. Check out the videos on screen, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Until then, take care, and it's goodbye from me.